and I would relate blue to divine will. I would relate pink to love, wisdom, and I would relate yellow to active intelligence. So I would call that threefold flame equals the three rays of attribute. The first ray, divine will, the second ray, love, wisdom, and the third ray, active intelligence. So that symbolism is wonderful for your own meditative practice of visualizing in the heart the threefold flame. So what I wanted to bring us to this evening is, the first thing I want to do is I want to speak to just a little outline from Lucis Trust on Sagittarius full moon. And then I want to read a few things from Alice Bailey, Discipleship in the New Age. And then I'm going to bring us to a meditation. And this evening, I want to engage us in a guided meditation. And so when I'm finished my little blurbs here, I'll tell you what I have in mind in terms of the guided meditation. So if you just want to make yourselves comfortable, I'll just start with the reading on the Sagittarius full moon. So the Sagittarius full moon it occurred on November 30th. No, that'll be tomorrow, November 30th at 4:29 a.m. That's the full moon's presentation. That's Eastern Standard Time. Sagittarius provides a point of balance in which the vision is consciously deepened and meaningful activity expanded. In meditation, the steady eye is developed, which perceives clearly the higher spiritual values prior to loosing the arrow of mental power with purposeful intention towards the goal to be achieved. This is the quality, as it develops, which will carry humanity through the portal of initiation. In reflection during this festival, we work with a clear, will-inspired energy on a beam of directed, focused light. A light so compelling and one-pointed that the next immediate goal to be achieved by the human family stands fully revealed. That goal is a world condition of right relationships between men and between nations, of cooperation and sharing between all peoples, races, and ideologies, and the right distribution of the world's resources which belong to all humanity. The characteristic human qualities of idealism and intuition are stimulated by the energy flowing through Sagittarius into our solar system, into our planet, and into the center of consciousness we call humanity. These are soul qualities inherent in all of us. They concern the subjective nature of a state of consciousness in which head and heart, light and love are fusing to release the potent energy of wisdom. At the time of each full moon festival, energy qualified by the constellation influencing the period flows into the range of human awareness, establishing the divine attributes in the consciousness of humanity. This spiritual inflow can be channeled in meditation into the minds and hearts of all people. The technique of meditation governs all expansions of consciousness, all registration of divine plan or purpose, and the entire process of evolutionary unfoldment. I came upon some inspirational reading that I thought would be the thing to set the stage for us this evening, from Alice Bailey, and it's Discipleship in the New Age, and Discipleship in the New Age at page 274 to 277. And this is Points of Revelation. I quote, "This almost automatically brings us to the third aspect of preparation for initiation, which I called in an earlier instruction, the presentation of points of revelation. These formulas, when rightly studied and eventually somewhat apprehended, at least intellectually, carry the disciple to the point where that which is new, hitherto unrealized, and for which no words exist, is suddenly contacted." St. Paul had reached such a point when he referred to the third heaven as it veiled the seventh. Eye has not seen, nor has ear heard, the inexpressible revelation which comes to the initiate, who can penetrate into certain high places, where the nature of the divine will suddenly assumes a different and amazing significance, where the purposes being worked out in the council chamber of Shambhala are visioned, not in detail, but as a suddenly contacted inspiration. Then for the first time, the initiate becomes consciously receptive to the energy pouring into the hierarchy from the Great White Lodge on Sirius. On hints. The hints a master earlier gave were concerned largely with the building or changing of character and with the awakening of the cella, which means disciple. These no longer constitute hints to the modern disciple. He knows enough by himself to work on his own character, and he has penetrated to the fringe of the inner world by his own effort and by his own power. Such is the role for the majority of aspirants today. The hints such as I will give you are superficially easy to understand and have an apparently obvious meaning, but they are concerned with service and with human and planetary affairs, and are capable of several interpretations according to the point of unfoldment and the ray type. In my last instruction, I gave you 3 hints, and it might be useful if we briefly considered them. The first hint dealt with the changes wrought by the work done in the ashrams, which are enfolded in the one great ashram of the hierarchy. I said that the results of this would be that a closer relationship would be established with Sanat Kumara and his council chamber. This will be the result of the work done by the disciples of the world in or out of incarnation. I wonder how many of you pondered on the significance of the statement that the changes were brought about by the activity of the disciples. By this, I mean not the senior initiates, but what you mean when you speak of a disciple. You might actually have assumed that the needed changes would be instituted by the masters or by the Christ or even by Sanat Kumara, but it is not so. Why is this? What idea lies behind my flat statement? The disciples of the world are the intermediaries between the hierarchy and humanity. They are the product of immediate human endeavor. They set the pace for human unfoldment. They are therefore closely en rapport with the consciousness of the race of men. It is the quality of the new disciples, the rapidity with which men find their way into the ranks of the disciples, and the demand which the working disciples in the world make on behalf of humanity, which they know, that brings about the needed changes. The masters are trained in the art of recognition, which is the consummation of the practice of observation. They stand ever ready to make the needed changes in the techniques or curriculum whenever human nature outgrows the old presentations of the ever needed truths. The need is indicated to them by their disciples, and they then initiate the required changes. When these occur at a time of crisis, and are far reaching in effect and are determining of conditions for several thousand years to come, then the entire hierarchy meets in conclave. Upon the basis of the light in this hint, you can for yourselves infer much. The second hint I gave indicated that mankind had evolved so well that today the goals and theories, the aims and determinations now expressed in human thinking and writing showed that the will aspect of divinity, in its first embryonic manifestation, was beginning to make its presence felt. Have you followed this hint? Have you realized that the uprisings of the masses and their determination to overcome handicaps and all hindrances to a better world state are indicative of this? Do you grasp the fact that the revolutions of the past 200 years are signs of the striving of the spirit aspect? That spirit is life and will. The world today is showing signs of new life. Think this out in its modern and immediate implications and see the way that the world is going under the inspiration of the spiritual will. The third hint I gave you was intended to suggest that it was the duty and the responsibility of the disciple working under the inspiration of the ashram to modify, qualify, and adapt the proposed plan of Shambhala, for which the ashrams are responsible in connection with the coming civilization and culture. There is an art of spiritual compromise which must be learnt and which it is difficult to master because it negates fanaticism, requires a trained and intelligent understanding of applied measures and truth, and also negates the evasion of responsibility. It involves also a comprehension of the time equation, of different points in evolution, plus experience in the process of discarding the outgrown and unnecessary, no matter how good it may appear to be. In these three hints lie much scope for individual education and expansion of consciousness. And it is in the right use of these hints that the disciple learns to serve with adequacy and precision and to render satisfactory service to the hierarchy. I shall ever indicate to you when I give you a hint, and upon these hints I would ask you to concentrate. I shall not always elaborate as I have done today, for you must grow by solving your own problems. So, what I'm going to propose this evening is that we meditate on the great invocation. And so what I'm going to do is that the great invocation is essentially broken up into 5 distinct parts. And so I'm going to take each part, each section, so 5 sections in total, and I will say the section, and then I will ask you to meditate on that section for 5 minutes. And then I will say the next section and repeat. So all the way through until we finish the great invocation. I will start the meditation with an Om Mani Padme Hum, and I will end the meditation with an Om Mani Padme Hum. So make yourself comfortable. Om Mani Padme Hum. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, Let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. O mani padme. So if you can gently come back to this reality. Relishing that beautiful energy that we all share. Does anyone have any comment, question, or anything they'd like to say? It's so good everybody's in the energy of the meditation. That's terrific. So I will end this session with the mantra of unification. The sons of men are one, and I am one with them. I seek to love, not hate. I seek to serve and not exact due service. I seek to heal, not hurt. Let pain bring due reward of light and love. Let the soul control the outer form and life and all events, and bring to light the love which underlies the happenings of the time. Let vision come and insight. Let the future stand revealed. Let inner union demonstrate and outer cleavages be gone. Let love prevail. Let all humanity love. Miigwech, Wiracocha, Namaste. See you all soon.